Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Discussing the idea of the logic of needing data, needing to not be afraid of looking at data. Okay. Now, in the previous video, I'm showing how foolish it is to listen to somebody scream and shout how they should censor everything so that you're protected from bad people. And 99% of the time when you look at it, it is the bad person who actually is stating that you should be protected from bad people like them, because they are actually trying to hide the fact that they're the ones that are the bad people. They're the ones that are breaking the laws. They're the ones that are doing the bad things. A very good example of this, okay? Last night I was in a little chat session with somebody on Facebook, and I made a comment about something on one of them, and several different people got involved. One of those people, very much, got in there and was defending what I was saying, and sat there showing that, excuse me, but us people that work in the press, we have our credentials, we have our sources, we have the ability to go out there and look at stuff, and we think about stuff. We don't just listen to one or two news things. And somebody else had asked, where do these really elite people hide? And I made the comment right out in front of you. And I started producing all these photographs of the Rothschilds being involved in Obama, Clinton, Trump, and just on down the line. Just look at data by data by data. I mean, here's an advertisement by a people known as the Koch brothers, who flat out told the American people that they were going to spend almost $900 million to influence the outcome of the 2016 election. And there's one guy comes on and says, "Oh, this is all conspiracy theory stuff. There's no facts here." And I sat there and went, "Oh, wow, okay, so I understand where that guy's coming from real quick." And sure enough, he comes back with, where's the credible news source behind this? And it's like, oh, okay, it's independent journalists going out and doing our own research and producing levels and levels of evidence for you. That's not credible. You want credible. So I put up the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, and I told the guy, "Hey, dude, look down here. See how ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox News, those stations are all owned by one company? How credible do you think it is for ABC and Fox to be arguing, or NBC and Fox be arguing that they're the true news and the other one's fake, if they're both owned by the same company?" The guy starts babbling, literally babbling, and calling me names because I believe conspiracy theory. And it's like, dude, go to Sinclair Broadcasting Group About page on the internet right now, because I just got this screenshot, like a week or so ago. And you are immediately right now in the middle of the FCC telling these kind of people that they have the right to censor data. That's what throttling down means, folks. Limiting your access to stuff. Deciding who can see stuff. Facebook has come out saying they are now going to censor out fake news. How do they decide what is fake? Well, does the fact that the United States government just gave Facebook $100 million to work with the United States government have anything to do with that? Does the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is going around the United States coast to coast on what has been classified as a presidential campaign strategy, marketing, travel, tour, whatever. He's running around putting himself out there as being a 2020 election presidential campaign person. Yeah. Do you think the guy has any reason whatsoever to give you factual data or give you access to factual data if he is trying to become a part of mainstream 0.001% elite rich, dominant, controlling, abusive, sexual pervert, drug addicted, alcohol drinking government officials? The very worst of the crop is what Zuckerberg is now in the middle of. And that is what he wants to rub shoulders with. And that is what he is taking money from. So he cannot be an honest person anymore. Like Donald Trump getting up there and saying, I'm going to drain the swamp. 10 hours after he got the government selection to be president of the United States in November 2016, he had 7 Goldman Sachs people on his cabinet announced to the American public. How do you drain the swamp and get rid of the swamp monsters if the first thing you do is invite the swamp monsters to your party to celebrate with you that they now control the swamp? Yeah. Go look at history, folks. November 2016 to December 2017. Donald Trump has more Goldman Sachs, Rothschild, J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, banker-type employees directly involved in whatever he is doing. He has more big corporation CEOs running the very things that are supposed to be protecting you, middle America, from corruption. Yeah, the very deepest levels of corruption, the fox is 100% in charge of the henhouse. The fox has brought in the military, all the little foxes and all the wolves and all the horrible meanies are now there standing around being protective of the corruption. Cheers. So you see the problem with letting somebody tell you that you want to limit your data. You want a 10-second meme. You want your news in 20 seconds. A 30-minute news hour that has 15 to 20 minutes of advertising of why you should be taking drugs so you don't feel bad. Why you should go buy sleazy, greasy hamburgers because it drips juices on pretty girls' titties. Why you should be excessive about rude behavior because it's so much better than being polite to the world you live on. You don't think, you don't care, and the more you don't think, the harder it is to do anything about it. If you stop and you think about what you are doing on a daily basis, then yes, it is very hard to sit there and go out and be a jerk to everybody. It is very hard to sit there and become a road rage person if you think about the fact that there are, 5 million people all on the freeways. Every last one of them wants to get home. Every last one of them has had a long, hot, tiring day. Every one of them has been doing a lot of stuff, and probably half of them have had customers get in their faces about something, and half of them had to stop and redo stuff or rethink things or print out something different or write something up different or draw a different line or speak a different speech. It just, let's face it, people have a tough life every single frickin' day. Living is not very easy. This body of mine is very old and very broken, and I've had a really lousy time. I'm 59, I will be 60 years old next month, folks. When I was 2 years old, I was told that I would witness the human race kill itself. I have for 57 years, almost 50, literally 57 years, I have been doing everything I can to convince the human race not to kill itself. I have used every underhanded and overhanded tactic that I can morally in myself justify using without becoming corrupt. The International Space Station was a sleazy, underhanded trick because I looked at the Republican Party and I knew that they were a bunch of greedy farts. I knew the United States was a bunch of greedy people. And I used that against them. And I made something for them to steal, and they stole it. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. They did it in 4 months. I turned an entire world around in 4 months, folks, all by my little lonesome self. Nobody helped. Nobody did anything else. There were no follow-up letters. There was absolutely nothing but a single one-page letter, 100% designed by all of the things I can think and use in my head to use everything that they are against themselves and create something that once it really got rolling, they lost all control of. That's why I say, as far as I can see, CIA and FBI are probably the heart of the Flat Earth movement. Why? Because Flat Earth runs around screaming that NASA is fake and we can't go into space because there is no space out there. It's all fake. Somehow the humans built this planet so they could live on it. But there's no other place to go. There's nothing else out there. Nobody stops to challenge the illogics of that statement. An absolute frickin' craziness. Even something like my watching the Soyuz come down, there were flat earth people screaming that this is all a Hollywood movie set. It's not really happening. Don't believe it. They literally go on to stuff and do everything they can to lie. Therefore, they must be some kind of corruption. They have to be something that doesn't think logically about how stupid they sound. And they definitely want you to accept the fact, I'm holding this up, I'll put the backside of it. They want you to accept their book of rules of what a flat earth has to be, absolutely on faith. Don't you dare challenge it. Don't you dare look at it. Don't you dare test it, because then you're a bad person. You're illogical to actually test anything. You have to believe a flat earther on what they say. Now, who wants you to do that? The United States government. So that's why I say, I don't have any proof CIA is behind it. I don't have any proof FBI is behind it. But it's about the most logical thing I can think of. International Space Station is the only object that you can find that has anything to do with multiple countries on this planet in the past 2,000 years, and probably longer than 2,000 years, that does not have any war involved in it. It is not a weapon. It is not used, well, it is a weapon. It's a weapon for peace. It is not used as a military weapon. It does not hurt anybody or kill anybody by design. Yes, people have died because it's dangerous going up in space. It's dangerous getting your butt on a big pile of dynamite and getting blown up into the upper atmosphere and into near space. It's also dangerous to walk across the street. Okay? So get your logics in proportion, folks. You have a 99% chance of dying crossing the street. You have a 99% chance of getting run over by a car in comparison to the idea that, if you go up in a rocket ship, you're going to immediately die. Okay? But there's 15 countries involved in the International Space Station. They don't trust one another. So there's no weapons up there. I guarantee it.